Hello, folks. Welcome to Metachomp. My name is Alexander Muncatchy.
And I am Michael Muncatchy.
Well, we have a lot of things on our minds and our collective brains.
And in our hearts.
In our hearts.
In our heart of hearts.
We have a lot of things going on as well in games and movies and TV.
That's right, indeed. And
So, what exactly is on the docket there, Michael?
well, as we sit on my front porch watching that sun set into the ether, we're talking about old gaming mascots and non-human characters in video games and what the fuck happened to them.
They all died. See, animals, they live a little bit low. Their lives are a little shorter. They live a little shorter life. So
They got some city miles on them, you see.
Hedgehogs only live a few years.
They just, one day they squeak, one last squeak.
They always squeaking.
That's
and
right.
then they reboot and their dead corpse brought out and make a 3D platformer. They don't work.
They turn into a werehog and have a relationship with a human girl.
Oh, well, you know what? It is California and it is 2018.
It certainly isn't, and we are very much in support of hedgehog-human relationships.
What? Exactly. They can date whoever they want to date.
Have you ever seen a hedgehog lying on its back in a bath getting rubbed?
Not yet.
It's scintillating.
It sounds like it.
Scintillating.
Well, if the girl's parents are fine with it, you know what? That hedgehog can do whatever he wants. She just living her best life. Let it be what she wants to be.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Alex, what is on the docket today? What are we talking about?
That's a huge conversation.
It certainly is.
Massive.
I want to know what a docket really looks like.
No one knows. A dock on a phone
Yes,
is a dock on a phone.
but a docket.
It's a woman.
It's a female
woman dock. A female dock.
It's a female dock.
Or it's a woman dock if you want to set back human relations for fucking 50 years.
That's right. Here comes the ladies.
By
Here
the
to
way,
dock.
just a disclaimer for your folks. If I if I sound like Joan Cusack, it's probably because I have 4 missing teeth right here. So I have a little bit of lisp going on. I got some surgery going, just to let you guys know.
But it's only a temporary situation, and quite frankly, I think you should just keep them out because it's quite a lovely sound.
So if I sound like Joan Cusack,
Joan Cusack.
you'll know why.
Wait, John Cusack sounds like Wait, what does he sound like?
Well, Joan Cusack
Joan.
from School of Rock.
Oh.
She's a super lispy.
I was gonna say that it's like more like the boy from Stranger Things.
Oh my god, that is so funny.
It's charming.
It is Charmander. But animals. I mean, think about it though. Like Taz, the Tasmanian tiger. We have Spyro. We have Gex.
Yes.
We have
Croc.
Daxter. Jack is an elf.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
I thought you were about to say Jackson Dactor.
I mean, think about it. Not only, and it seems like Insomniac was so against like human characters that Ratchet and Clank,
Sly Cooper.
well, not Sucker Punch,
I know, but I just want to throw it out there.
and they were all animals. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. You don't really see a lot of humans with animals, though, do you? Unless you're thinking of Sonic 06.
Of course, and I can't not think about it. It's in my mind every time I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just that relationship between
Just
that.
do what everyone else does and delete your search history.
That's exactly right. Control-Shift-N, folks. Control-Shift-N.
Exactly.
What do you think it's good riddance? Are you glad that for the most part these non-human character-driven stories are gone or relegated to platformers?
I think it's because the medium itself has grown up. I think that when it comes down to a lot of the platforms like the Sega and with the Hedgehog and Mario being an Italian, which is basically an animal. Mm-hmm.
He's a stallion.
He's a stallion.
He certainly is.
And you have obviously Crash with Sony. I feel like they were really catering towards kids as the basis for entertainment. And I think as we got more and more evolved as a species, as we've
and as combat evolves,
as combat evolves. And I mean, by the way, do we really know what the Master Chief looks like? It could be an animal.
It could be an animal. Actually, Master Chief is Klonoa.
See, that makes sense. The hard times with Klonoa. God, I love, by the way, Kirby, Klonoa. I don't know, what is Kirby, by the way?
Kirby's
Bubblegum?
a mistake.
Mistake.
It was a mistake. He was an unfinished character, and they decided to make him, right? I think he was just a puff.
See, I think they should do. I see what's going on with back in the day with like Pokemon, all the animals. What they need to do is bring it back, but replace all the animals with humans. So, I think that's going to be a fascinating.
I don't think you want that. I don't think.
Why wouldn't it work?
Nope. It sounds like something else. You gotta catch 'em all.
But it's funny to me because it's like people are like, "Oh, it's so cool! You get to collect monsters, and then you make them fight each other."
It's slavery,
and then you make them fight each other.
I am so furious about it. It's insensitive. I hate to be an SJW.
And Pikachu.
Hey, watch yourself.
I think he doesn't really see combat often, does he? He's a sidekick.
Did you ever watch
He's out the ball.
Did you ever watch Pokemon 2000?
Out the ball, like.
Did you ever out the ball? Did you ever watch Pokemon 2000 when Pikachu fights Pikachu?
I have not. I think I'm not sure. I don't.
No, you and I watched it in the theater. You dragged me out to that theater late at night. Everyone else was sleeping, and by everyone else, I mean the other 4 people who were in the theater,
including the projectionist.
Yeah, Mew was fighting Mew. Pikachu versus Pikachu.
Oh, it was like Game of Thrones.
Pokemon. It truly was. Mm-hmm. Even more riveting. Shame. Shame. Shame.
Well, that's what happens when their animal that they raised, their Pokemon, loses the battle. That's what they do.
They faint.
Yeah.
They don't die, right?
They don't die. No, they faint.
What about favorite non-human games? Most of these are going to be platformers.
I can tell you right now, I am a huge sucker for Sly Cooper.
Yeah. Okay.
Massive fan of Sly Cooper because it's literally a Saturday morning cartoon, and it's a heist game which you don't get often.
Right.
Where everyone's like pulling off a heist.
Do you think it's really playing on unfair stereotypes about raccoons though? Because
they can't be trusted.
Right, and they're mischievous.
And there was Carmelita Fox, who is a saucy looking fox.
I can't tell if that's made up.
No, Carmelita Fox, and like super. Like very sensual style, like really hilariously over the top with her like design.
Okay.
And then you have your sidekick, your buddies. You're all traveling in a van, and you're trying to evade her and trying to break into like museums and evade guards and stuff like that. It's a Saturday morning cartoon platformer, and it's a stealth game, which is like it literally ticks every single box ever.
Yeah. So, and there've not been any games since the last one that came out for the PS2?
No, there was one for PS4 that came out. It didn't do too well.
Oh,
unfortunately.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, they changed the design. Like I said, they tried to make them a little bit more realistic, but keeping like the cel shaded look. It didn't really work terribly well. I don't remember too much of the game. But the PS2 trilogy was. I mean, we had Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and Sly, Sucker Punch, Insomniac, and Naughty Dog. Mm-hmm. Like, think about that. The titans of Sony just doing all the heavy lifting. 3 incredible trilogies.
Yes.
It's kind of amazing to me what we got. But I think Insomniac was so against the whole idea of having humans. I mean, literally, one was a robot, the other one was I was gonna say larynx. What the fuck is it?
It's a larynx.
What is it called? What are they called? What are those? With the big ears? Yeah, I don't remember.
It's that thing. Yeah,
it's an animal. It's a cute animal.
It's the larynx.
I think it's like also like I love the idea of them like he's a really good pilot. And everything, and he's like really cool. Like they explore. It's like Star Wars. Like they explore all these different worlds and expanded universes, and you get to collect and make your own weapons and all that kind of fun.
That's one thing that I really liked about those non-human games is because these different animals had different attributes that made them good at different things. Like for Gex, the gecko had the padded feet so it could walk like up and down walls, and had that long tongue to be able to pick up pickups and
Why do you think Gex was not a human? I mean, he was a lizard wearing a tux.
Well, I think they were trying to say, listen, not all heroes are human. Some sell insurance, but some also fight crime, and that's where Enter the Gecko comes in.
Kind of sport, some witty pop culture references.
That's right, and constantly, every couple of seconds. And back then, if you were playing the game on the Sega Saturn or the 3DO, where it was originally released, you have those lines of dialogue. Of course, previously to that, you didn't really have very many voiced characters, especially not in like child friendly games. But Gex was also along the lines of sort of like Bug, where it was celebrating movies, because every stage would celebrate a different genre of film, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But also, Gex was a very difficult game to play. I was very bad at it.
Which is interesting to me, because it's like you're catering to children, but we didn't really have too many of like the crazy guided tutorials and stuff. It's like, hey, you're just gonna have to figure it out. You're just gonna have to really you're gonna have to die a lot, and by dying, you're gonna know what not to do.
It's
other
true.
than trying to explain every 5 seconds with a button prompt.
Yeah, in a way, video games back then were better than a lot of the parents are today. They were the parents. They really were the parents. I mean, I don't know about you, but Mario was my father.
That's insane.
It's so true, though.
It is.
But when it comes to the platformers, though, outside of that generation, can you think of any modern games that feature non-human characters that are like of interest to you or that you've been following? Is there anything on the horizon that looks like it'll be filling that void?
Honestly, it's a difficult question. I really haven't played a lot of games with animal protagonists, or just not even just an animal, just like an alien or a monster or creature, just a non-human.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really is few and far between.
Especially outside of Nintendo. Yeah. Because Nintendo is where they're still all over it. Especially with, they still have all of the Pokemon is huge.
Yeah.
What's the other game? Was it
Digimon?
Splatoon is a big thing, and you're kind of...
Are they humans?
I don't think so. I think they're kind of like squids.
They're squid people?
Squid people. God help us. We're going to get so much hate mail. Well, actually, they're adolescents who have backpacks full of ink.
That's hilarious.
So much hate mail. Just email us at garbage@thedumpster.com with any complaints.
You have a dumpster.com email address as well?
I know. I still do after all these years.
That's amazing.
The death of the non-human.
It's sad because I feel like that's almost like non-human characters. It's like you are so far removed. You're like, I don't really know what a dog is or a cat is, but we kind of like, it's that removal, that abstraction that allows us to really go into just a different universe. Like not only did you ever think of like when you were playing Earthworm Jim, you're like, I am a worm that was somehow found a spacesuit. Like, what crazy idea. And they greenlit it. Like, big studio executives walked into a boardroom. They saw some preliminary sketches of a worm finding a spacesuit, getting into it.
And a lot of like cow imagery. Just a lot of weird animal imagery.
It was the perfect like 90s Saturday morning cartoon. That style, like that crazy Rocko's Modern Life, and Stimpy. Like everything was super exaggerated. Like a sign wasn't just like a picket sign. It was like the wood would be slanted off at like 45-degree angles, and the text would be very almost barely legible. Like everything had a very cool, like everything felt handcrafted. No one used a ruler. It was just like, this is what it looks like. It's almost like a great, super detailed children's drawing. Almost.
Yeah. In a way, maybe there's just that, maybe developers are just struggling to find the market when games featuring humans, especially, combative games, are so popular.
Yeah.
Because we used to have the games like Rayman or Oddworld, where there are non-human protagonists that are
That's right. Rayman was not a Rayman was a non-human. I don't even know what Rayman is. What is he?
I think he's just a dream.
That's true.
You know, no arms, no legs.
That's true. Rayman Legends and Origins, those are really great games. Those are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I hate to see. I think platformers as well as like mascot platformers, they really just went by the wayside, and I don't know why. I don't really know why they did, but yeah, as you remember, Uncharted being obviously a game that originally started off as the next Jak and Daxter.
Right.
It's fascinating to see what they would have done if they really wanted to go into like a hyper-realistic cartoon world. I mean, Epic Mickey is a thing, you know, with Warren Spector.
Yep.
It was a thing. I don't know if they've done anything else recently with it, but it's like it really hasn't.
Yeah, and that was back in, 2009?
Yeah, it really hasn't done. They haven't done the industry at large, unless you really go into like the indie scene. You're not going to see a lot of, you know, and it's like you'll find spiritual successors to things like Klonoa. You know, you're not going to see, you know, a Kirby or whatnot, you know, and
Especially not on the big budget.
yeah.
Oh, you see tons of little indie games. And also, like, EA had Unravel a couple years ago.
You think of Unravel, and I don't even know if that sold well. I think there's a second one, so it must have sold well enough.
Yeah.
But I think a really great story from the creator about, you know, how he wanted it. He was super nervous on stage, and everyone talked about that. Like this was a really big project for him, and it meant a lot to him as well. Wanted to invoke that real childlike wonder of exploration and all that stuff. And I love that. But yeah, you have Super Meat Boy. You know, yeah, you just really don't have a lot of, you know, character, you know, animal I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because developers and publishers are terrified of creating a product that might alienate their fan base. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. It's strange to me because those things, like what the games back then, like Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, I mean, they sold like hotcakes. They were massive. Gex had like 7 games. Like they seemed like they made everything.
They were the biggest games on the planet.
Spyro was huge. Crash Bandicoot was massive. Like, it's not like that. Maybe people are fearful. They're connecting the animal and then animal mascot and mascot platformers, and they're kind of lumping everything into one box. And I think that's really unfair because I feel like that slight just adjustment, you know, and changing in like Spirited Away is a great example of like I don't know what it's like to be like a little girl, like an 8 or 9 year old. I don't know how old she is in that movie.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, but I feel like having that abstraction where you are something different than what you think you are, you know, and I think that's maybe it's because we're going the opposite way. Who would want to play as an 8 or 9 year old girl when you can play as the big muscular, you know, dude bro in Gears of War?
Yeah, it's like there's this weird masculine overtone to almost everything nowadays where you don't want to play something that's cute. But I would love to play a game that is next generation.
Well, why? I mean, because then you have Pixar. You have Pixar, which does a phenomenal job at being able to do whatever they want. I mean, they're able to make literally any person, male, female, koala, literally does not matter.
Especially koalas. Tear
up when they see an animated lamp jump across and then stomp on the P or the I for a Pixar logo. Like, it's like they can do whatever they want, and there's an audience. They respond to it because they exhibit human emotions and behaviors, and we're like, okay, I can connect with this. Zootopia is one of the greatest movies that I've seen, animated movies that I've seen, and it did really, really well. I don't know. Maybe it's because they're like you said. You kind of talked about it earlier. Maybe they're fearful of like stereotypes and archetypes that might be.
That was more of a joke.
It was a joke, but you might honestly be onto something. You know?
Yeah, but how there's with the technology, especially today.
I mean, people were freaking out that Battlefield 5 had women on the front line in World War I.
Yeah. Oh, as like just a historical inaccuracy,
right?
Like that there weren't.
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's one thing. But remember, like Resident Evil 6 also had, like, oh, this takes place in Africa. Why are there so many black people, like black zombies?
Where's Seether?
Or Seether. Yeah, exactly. See,
oh no, yeah, South Africa is where they're from.
But there's always that issue though with trying with like, but creating art should be completely outside of having to handle somebody's sensitivities, if they're like, be they like
Right.
racial or otherwise. Because I don't think when Nintendo made Pokemon, I don't think they were thinking about all the overtones that could have gone into.
Pikachu's obviously Asian.
That's been another episode of Metachomp, you guys.
No, but it's interesting to me because it's like, what, you know, and I guess maybe Nintendo could fall back onto like the super simplified. Like, people don't remember that Pikachu in particular was fat.
Yeah.
They body shamed Pikachu.
Why have they been slimming Pikachu down?
They body shamed him, and he was on the front cover of Sports Illustrated.
Same thing with Sonic. Sonic used to have a little round belly.
I miss fat Pikachu.
I miss fat Sonic.
That's right. That Sonic was fat. That's
Sonic
right.
was fat.
Yeah, that is
Thick, 2 C's.
Pikachu was like, it was like literally the fattest mouse. And then they had Pichu and then Raichu. And Pichu was supposed to be like the most adorable little thing. Like, it was like so cute you couldn't even stand it kind
Basically
of thing.
like Scrappy Doo, though.
Yeah. Oh, don't even. Oh, God. Scrappy Doo. The key to my heart. No, I'm kidding. No, but yeah, it's interesting to me how like that changes. But people forget how rudimentary a lot of that was. But animals in games, I mean, just non-human characters. It's like I don't see why that's an issue. I don't know.
Yeah, and this has almost stumped the podcast because, as it stands, there's more opportunity than ever to sell to an even larger market. And
especially, I think, you know, what was that? There was that MMO that came out, Wildstar. That was like an MMO, and it had like a lot of like the main character was like a rat or some sort of like a rodent of some kind, like a mouse, and he was like eyes wide with a gun, and like you can play as these. And there's another game that's coming out that's like Fallout, but it has a bunch of like animals played by animals, but not Fallout 3D, but Fallout 2D.
Oh,
and I can't think of the name of it, but that is very endearing as well. Very, very, very realistic and really cool kind of design. So maybe they're coming back. Maybe there's going to be a resurgence.
let me pose this question to you. Pie in the sky. What is your moonshot game? What is, like, define what an ideal future platformer or just non-human based game, like, define what that is, what platform is it on, and give us a little rundown, if you will, of what game you would like to play that takes advantage of today's technology.
I mean, for the longest time, people really wanted to play Zelda and modern technology, like really like a photorealistic version of Zelda that was like Skyrim. Remember that? There was that whole thing about Zelda being but you're talking about non-human, right?
Right. I mean, I guess
I would love like I keep saying Sly Cooper, but I would really like a Sly Cooper game with like a massive city to explore, like a Sly Cooper with like GTA style, like a massive cartoon universe that you could explore. And you know, I think like having like the Wolf Among Us kind of style with noir would be fascinating. I think tones and moods are really interesting. Are very, for me, really, really important. Like, I love the noir vibe. There's that whole thing, that whole genre is totally underrepresented in film and games. I'm sorry, in games, there's just not much out there really to do that. And it's frustrating to me because I think that could be a lot of interesting stuff. But people used to make really simplistic cartoony designs because, yeah, like you said, it was a lot easier to draw Kirby and make him into a 2D game or a 3D game than it was to try to render a human body.
Yeah.
But, you know, so I don't know what the excuse is why people are trying to, like, if there must be some sort of data, some statistics out there that showcase that there's a downward trend with with cartoon characters or with animals. And I couldn't give you an exact platform, but I think tools like Unity and whatnot, it allows you to do whatever you want to do really, really quickly. And I think
Sly Cooper would
be up there for me. I would say Ratchet and Clank as well. I love Klonoa. I love the Klonoa games. One of my favorite games. And then I was gonna say Bubsy for a quick second, but then I was like, no, that game was not that great. The Rystar was great as well. But there's a few. It's like it really depends on what you're looking for. But I think it's technology out there games are now making a game now is actually a lot easier than it was before.
It's true.
And we have these incredible engines and tools to make these big expensive experiences. I don't know. I would probably go with like a kind of like a Sly Cooper open world kind of thing. Because I freaking love stealth. I love like the heist stuff. I think it's really interesting. I love that very cool, edgy comic book style design.
Yeah.
Very endearing, and I like it when that design is coupled with like really smooth, beautiful animations and interesting designs, character designs, world designs, enemy designs, and just having a lot of fun with the game.
That's awesome. That's
what
great.
About
you? Screw it. No, I honestly, Oddworld.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there's a lot of rumors swirling around about a new game. Soulstorm. What, like, release date? I don't think there's anything truly listed.
They remade Abe's Odyssey in Unity, the HD collection. So I think Soulstorm is going to be made in Unity. But I remember you were very big on Stranger's Wrath.
Yeah, I love Stranger's Wrath, and that was that was a 3D game.
Yes.
So anything that takes place in that Oddworld inhabitants universe, I would love to see. I would love to see a new version of that because it's not cartoony and it's basically taking on like photorealism with an alien world, alien races, and also taking on adult concepts, but in such a stylistic and well realized world.
It's like a Saturday morning cartoon as done by Geiger.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually nails it. Yeah, because you play as this character Abe, who is basically food. He's like livestock that is able to escape, and he tries to free his friends. It's that game, and just a new. I would love to see something that's just next generation, takes full advantage of all the hardware, because I'm so sick and tired of hearing people say, "Oh, well, kiddie games should be made simplistically or using
or they're relegated to mobile."
Right.
It seems like that's the thing now. It's like, oh, this could be played well. It's a mindless cartoon game. It's a kitty animal game. That can be played on a cell phone.
Yeah, but if we thought that games or any media that's aimed at kids should only ever be aimed at kids alone, I feel like it's so wrong, because some of the most heartfelt messaging that I've seen in a film is from Pixar, and some of the most heartfelt games I've ever played.
How about Angry Birds? Like Angry Birds.
Sob story.
And I'm saying Angry Birds being
I wept.
No, I'm talking about like as far as like the popularity from adults, Angry Birds. Mm-hmm. Like they captured, like, I think it was not just 18 to 35, I think it was like 18 to 50.
Yeah.
Like it was ridiculous, like how just the age group range, and equally men and women that played those games. Love them or hate them, but it also just indicated, hey, like, these are cartoon birds you're throwing at these green pigs.
Yeah.
Like, this should not be a game that adults should be seen playing. It should be like with your steamy erotic, thrillers that you'll read paperback. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, you kind of tuck it in between like a magazine or something.
They're romance novels.
Oh, okay.
Romance. Okay. You understand?
So, but I think it's crazy. Like, I think it's, to me, it's like Angry Birds is spits in the face. Pixar spits in the face of all of what we think is. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because people like they say mobile should be the way it goes when it comes on cartoony games, or if it's just like that's just kind of like a denigrated way of saying that, like, oh, it's simply so. It's so childish in its design that it then should have very simplistic gameplay to match a simplistic look, and then that should be relegated to mobile as a result. It's such a backwards way of thinking.
It's really backwards. But I'm excited for the future. I'm optimistic.
So you would want an open world Abe's game?
Maybe not necessarily open world. I mean, even if it's a linear story, 3D, like absolutely 3D.
Because Munch's was not a great game.
What's that?
Munch's Odyssey? Xbox?
Yeah, Munch's wasn't, but Stranger's Wrath was great.
It was phenomenal. It's like a gunslinger thing. You could fire live ammunition.
Literally.
And they also made sure that you had to stare into like the squirrel's eyes as it sat on your crossbow.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. So, but I remember that game vividly.
I think the future is bright, though. Like you said, with engines like Unity and with Unreal, it's cheaper than ever to make a game. But I want AAA realistic games featuring non-humans, and that's why I think Abe or Munch or Stranger would be great.
You remember that when he wanders in, he's cleaning the floors?
Yeah, he's mopping up,
and he's just like, he's imagining the food that he wants to eat, and he's like, and every time, and these are other critters that probably could have their own spin-off franchises.
Probably.
And then it comes into him. It's like a new and exciting or something.
Yeah.
New and tasty. And he stumbles into the boardroom and there's these guys. I just have this I have such a weird memory of
they have the chart that's going
and there's
the negative.
Their shoulders, like the way their shoulders are shaped. Like
they're
wearing
very angular.
And then they kind of go down to their feet. And it's just creepy.
Really creepy.
Glowing eyes, big cigars.
Yeah, because they have the chart that's going down. But then they introduce like what it is basically made out of Abe, and they're like, and they sound the alarm, and you got that one guy with a rifle.
I think
with a hand mouth.
No, I think even before, I think he was like, there was like a rawr, and it was like, wait a second, and then he's waiting because I think it was like because they're freaking out, and he's like, quiet down, kind of thing, and then he kind of does the slow nod, and then he looks at the chart. I remember that particular moment of silence where he's like, well, wait until I show you the next big thing. It goes from like a normal presentation to like, this is a hunt now. This is going to be like a systematic slaughter, which made it, for me, it was that weird, it's a very specific pause in that presentation, what it is giving with the board, that creeped me out the most because like they're freaking out, they're motionless, it's quiet for like maybe 3-4 seconds, and then he has this big moment, and that was when Abe obviously gasps. And it's like at that moment, like the game made you feel like they were going to go after Abe that night. They were going to go after Abe right then and there.
Yeah, because they have the little seeing eye thing that's like looking around for him.
Yes.
And so it basically starts the way Portal ends. Yeah. In that you're in the system, but then you have to break out of it, and the whole rest of it is trying to find your way spiritually.
And obviously, then you have like you said, the gunners with that, like this creepy robotic walk. And no one spoke English, I don't think. Did they?
No. Just Abe.
Oh, that's right.
I was all alone.
The chants and all the different little button prompts like you could press.
Oh yeah. Infuriating.
Yeah.
Infuriating game to play. But still.
That's like I think that's like for me the way that game controlled. It was like a 2D Tomb Raider.
Oh, yeah. Angel of Darkness in particular.
I was thinking like the old PS1 Tomb Raiders, the ones that had like the tank controls that like literally were grid-based where you had to time your jump pixel perfect to make something.
Yeah.
Abe, I think with better controls probably would be more accessible, but as it stands, it's a great game in concept. But I agree with you. I think it would be, with this new technology and whatnot, I think that world needs... I want to see more of it. It's so fascinating to me. It's so thoroughly original.
I completely agree. And folks, we hope you agree too. So, Al, where can people find you on social media? So, Al.
So, are we gonna plug it in? Plug it in. What do we do? Instagram? What do we do?
Yeah, plug your Instagram, because one thing that I've heard is it's good to promote through your personal like basically on your Instagram story.
Oh, we're not going to do Metachomp Instagram?
That too, but also finding where each other, like where we both are online.
I don't know the URLs. I don't know how to say that.
Oh, it's okay. You could just say like, just find me Alex Moncatchi on Instagram, Alex Moncatchi on Brazzers.
Okay.
And then at the end we can plug the Metachomp handles.
I mean, okay.
So I can prompt you again.
I have a lot of social media stuff though.
Well, maybe just like the high points, like where you live, Brazzers.
Okay.
So Al, all of this delightful conversation has whet my appetite for more. Sorry about that. Where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Alex Moncatchi. Find me on Pornhub on Alex Moncatchi as well. And
so you're one of the commenters. I've always wondered.
Are they called commenters or are they called commenters?
Did I misspeak? That's great. Anywhere else? Just
SoundCloud, Tone Deaf.
Tone Deaf.
Yeah, and just mumble rapper,
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I usually like rap really quick and then I slow it down to like completely so it's ineligible.
One and the same.
Perfect. I'll release it today. No, but in all seriousness, Instagram, Alex Moncatchi. That's about it. What about you?
You can catch me on the gram as well, or Insta, as some other people say. It's a house divided.
Yeah.
At Mike Moncatchi. You can also find me on Facebook at Alex Moncatchi. And you can find... Where can you find Metachomp nowadays?
Instagram, Twitter.
Okay. And is that at Metachomp?
It's at Metachomp.
Metachomp? It's like, come on down, have a plate of Metachomp.
Sounds delicious.
But you can find us on Instagram at Metachomp. Mm-hmm. Find us also on Twitter at Metachomp. And you can find us on Facebook at
Alex
Metachomp. Fuck you, Al. Please also visit the website. It's metachomp.com. You've heard it here, folks, first or second, depending on when you're hearing this.
I heard that Winback just came out.
What's that?
I just heard that Winback came out.
Winback for the N64. It's a good little test, Al. I'm glad to have passed. Now, also, you can find, let's see here. Let me just phrase it. We will be launching a Patreon soon as well.
Nice. To bring back Fat Pikachu or what?
We are. No, that's a GoFundMe. That'll be a GoFundMe. Make Pikachu fat again. And make Sonic fat again.
That's true.
God.
Yeah, they need to be fat together.
Sonic was so cool when he was fat. I swear he lost his talent weight.
All that fat went into his shoes because his shoes got bigger.
It was like Bobby's World. Bobby's World shoes. But, it's so hard to say bye.
It's a really simple word.
Yeah, I have to walk away. Al, can you just close it out for me?
Well, it's an episode of Metachomp. Hope you guys enjoyed listening in. And feel free to write us in the comments anything that you want to relate to as far as what is your favorite kind of world that you'd want to explore. Do you want to see the return of non-human critters to play as in your games? Please comment below, email, Snapchat, JDate, whatever you need to do. This is Metachomp, and we out.